Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel for everything football. And the breaking news just keeps coming and coming and coming. And today, it's not been the best of days for Everton fans. Obviously, Godfrey being left out of the English squad, and then more breaking news. And this time, it involves the manager. And the perfect guest with me to come and talk to me about Everton is Kieran, a very, very big Everton fan. How are you?
Well. I was going to say I'm good, but personally, I'm quite all right. But everything else is just an absolute shambles, to be honest with you. I'm not very happy. Carlo Ancelotti leaving just saddened me, to be honest with you. And as you said, Godfrey being left out of the England squad, it's the icing on the cake, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, apart from that, I'm doing decent.
Awesome. So let's take it back to 18 months ago to the December where we played you guys at Goodison Park when Ateta was new and Ancelotti was new. We actually thought Ancelotti was going to come to us and maybe Ateta to you guys, but surprisingly, you actually got the big of the managers. You were very excited when you got him, right? You didn't expect it.
Yeah, absolutely. He wasn't even in the favourites. As we'll go on to say who the favourites are later, he wasn't even in the category of who was going to come in. Looking at, we were potentially looking at Moisey coming back in. I forgot who else was sort of linked with us, but it wasn't Carlo Ancelotti, and I was ecstatic. I know a lot of Everton fans were as well.
Yeah, and then obviously what was the target for that season? Because for us, we didn't even expect to win the FA Cup. You're just like, you know what, let's just finish the first season. Obviously, the pandemic coming as well, so we didn't really know what to expect from that season. So were you guys also giving Ancelotti the next season and not really that half season?
Yeah, well, I think the initial goal was just to avoid relegation because there was quite a scare with Marco Silva that we were going to get relegated. And I do think that, you know what, if we would have kept him on, we would have had a very good shot at getting relegated. So it was getting relegated. And then it was about sort of trying to finish in the top half, potentially. I think Europe was sort of it was a far stretch, but finishing top half was the goal. Ultimately, we did fail on that. We finished 12th on about, I think it was 46 points, or I think it was 46 points we finished on last season. I would say we somewhat failed, but we somewhat succeeded in the way of we did avoid relegation. That was the main goal.
Yeah, so you guys started the season very well in the transfer market. You brought the likes of James Rodriguez and players like that. Really exciting season. What were your expectations for the start of the season? Which position did you want to finish after those signings?
The expectation, it's a hard one with Everton because obviously the new signings, Rodriguez, Alan, Godfrey, Decore. You'd expect us to say Europe. I think it was Europe. I think top half was definite. It was sort of assumed that we would get top half, and really pushing on for Europe, getting top 6, potentially even top 7 was the target. And you know what, we could have got that in the end, but we didn't. We were 2 wins off, pretty much off getting 6th, and ultimately we failed on that goal.
I didn't actually expect that because you guys, if I remember right, you started by beating Tottenham. Everyone loved beating Tottenham. And then I think you also beat West Brom and Brighton by like 4 and 5 goals those first 2 home games. Like you were top of the table. So we were actually talking about top 4 for you guys. And then obviously it kind of dropped off, usually because of the home form. Because of the home form, it is poor home form, like I think losing to Leeds at home, Fulham at home, teams like that. But away from home, you're very good. Obviously, you beat Arsenal away from home. You beat Liverpool away from home. You even got a last-minute draw against United. So I think you didn't actually reach your targets this season, right?
It's a mixed one, because we have, as you said, the record away from home to be absolutely it's been title charge sort of form. Yeah. But the home form, horrendous, absolutely horrendous. It's cost us Europe, the home form, to be quite honest with you. And I would say it's weird because I'm not sure what the overall goal was with Carlo Ancelotti. Was it to finish in Europe in this season, or was it to just sort of steady the ship? But I would say there's some aspects of the goal which were achieved and some aspects which weren't. Obviously Europe wasn't achieved, but and then again, we got 59 points, I think. And at the end of the day, that would have got us top 6 last season. So, you know what? I didn't think he did too bad of a job. Personally, I think we just really got unlucky on the last day, 5-0 against City. And it made us look terrible, absolutely terrible. Because on that day, we could have finished 7th. But I'd say it's mixed, very mixed, the expectations.
Because for me, I actually think he actually came to take it to the next level. Because there's a time Ancelotti is like basically on the same level with managers like Jose Mourinho in terms of honors and stuff, and he's obviously bigger than the likes of Solskjaer and Arteta. So I think he was actually brought in to bring it to the next level. Now it must hurt that he actually didn't bring it to Europe and he's left. So do you think he's been talking to Real Madrid even before Zidane left?
Not sure if it was before Zidane left. However, there was a board meeting 1 week ago discussing the transfer policies and the transfer, what we sort of wanted to plan out this summer. And apparently there's a massive disagreement between Brands, who's our director of like transfers and everything in charge of transfers, and Carlo Ancelotti. They sort of disagreed on what the direction of how do you say it? The direction they wanted to go in for transfers. That's it. They disagreed over that massively, but reports are believed that since last Friday, he actually went to Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti did, and started negotiations with Real Madrid since then. So he's been negotiating for 4 or 5 days at minimum, I would say.
So who do you blame here? Do you blame him or the owners or the board? Because he's been talking about he can't wait for the new stadium. He'll be here and all that kind of stuff, taking you to Europe for the new stadium. So who do you blame for this? Do you blame him? He's left you cold, or who do you blame?
I blame Carlo. I do. I do. Look, he came out with some quotes. I could name quite a few quotes. Oh, I'm going to be here till the stadium's built. I hope to be here for 4 years. I hope to build a long-term project here. I hope to build something at Everton. And then there's another quote which it's really bizarre, but I've got to mention it. Before the Man City game, he came out and said he's going to challenge for the title next year. Now, he must have known that he was at Real Madrid there, but he came out and said that about Everton, and it blew us all out the water. And I was like, oh my God, what is he on about? But yeah, look, Carlo, man, I just don't know what he's doing. You could blame Brands, but you don't know what happened in the transfer. You don't know what happened in that boardroom. You don't know whether or not Brands was in the right, Ancelotti was in the right, because we have had a history. We've spent a lot of money recently, and I wouldn't have been surprised if Brands was there saying, you know what, we can only spend about 80 million this season, and Carlo was like, no, I want to spend 150. It could have been something like that, but look, we don't know the full story yet, but I would look at saying Carlo, because it seems like there's some reports saying that he was ecstatic to get the call off Real Madrid and was ready to go. And I feel like his head really dropped after the international break for Everton. It just seems really off after then. And I would blame Carlo. Yeah.
So what next for you guys? What next for Everton? Because the Euros is about to start, and the players like Calvert-Lewin and Digne will be on international duty. So that if a new manager comes in, it will take so much time to settle. Most of the players are in the Euros. When do they take time to settle? When does he meet the players? So what next for you guys? Who will be the next manager? Who do you want to be the next manager? Who do you think they'll appoint?
I gave my best bet that it'll be Eddie Howe. And I hate to say that. I hate to say that, man. I just know that it's going to be Eddie Howe. You could just, stars are aligning for it, and it upsets me, to be honest with you, if we got Eddie Howe. Now, what I would hope, I could give a list of candidates that are coming out. Moisey, never going to come. Rafa Benitez and Gerrard, never going to come. The Ajax manager, not going to come. He's signed a new contract. Nuno, in talks of Crystal Palace, of all people.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll come. No, he'll never come. Conte will never
Lampard?
come. Neither was Zidane. I don't think Lampard. I wouldn't want Lampard. I'm sorry, I wouldn't want him.
Yeah.
Pochettino. I'd love
so
him.
Many managers. Yeah.
I think Pochettino is the right guy. Pochettino is the right guy we need, but he's not going to do it. He's not going to take a step down now. It's too late. We are just, I have no clue. I'm going to be honest, Glenn. I have no clue who we can sign manager-wise. I just have a feeling we're going to get Eddie Howe, and I'm going to be, if we get Eddie Howe, we'll be in a relegation battle next year. No joke. Because what will happen if we get Eddie Howe is we will sell Richarlison, we will sell Luca Digne, we will sell Alan, we will sell all these great players, because all these players have ambition. All these players that I'm listing off have ambition for the club. They will go if Eddie Howe comes in. And I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be one of the worst. This is looking at being one of the best summers we will ever have, but this is one of the worst summers I think we will ever have. This is going to be one of the worst seasons we will have next year. I think next season will be pain. I reckon next season we will have 2+ managers. I reckon Eddie Howe will if Eddie Howe, bear in mind, if Conte comes in, it'll be a different picture, or Zidane or Pochettino, but I'm not expecting that. If Eddie Howe comes in, I expect us to sack him in November time, and then expect us to have a interim manager for about a month. That will fail, and then we'll get in another person, potentially even, God forbid, a Sam Allardyce type person. I don't think we'll go back to Sam Allardyce, but someone like him to just avoid relegation, and then we'll go again next year. Because I can tell you right now, it's a write-off next year. It's a write-off, man. And I hate to say that. I'd love it if my opinion changes, but who do we get? Honestly, man, you look at the options and you go, awful options, man. Awful options. And what players would want to come? You're not even going to that question yet, but yeah, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun to be an Everton fan, basically.
Yeah, I know. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. So do you think they'll get it done like in the next couple of weeks? So to get a new manager, do you think it will be like July or August or something?
I reckon it'll be quite short time frame. I reckon it'll be about a week, potentially, I think. A week, yeah, that sounds about right. I feel it'll be before the Euros, I reckon.
Yeah, and then the last question, you've obviously pointed out the transfers and all those players leaving. So which players like James Rodriguez brought into the club because of Ancelotti, do you think they'll remain?
James is gone, definitely. I feel like Digne could be going to PSG. I feel like Moise Kean will go. I feel like Richarlison could potentially go somewhere bigger. It's a long list, man. And what's the problem with that list is it's not the deadweight list. It's the good players. Alan could potentially go. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not. And it's really annoyed me that Carlo's gone because he's absolutely shot us in the foot here. And we don't know what's next. We really don't.
Yeah, it's I can only imagine. So it's bad news for Everton, and then just random England squad announced. Obviously, you're sad that Godfrey didn't make it. Are you happy with the rest of the team, or do you think it's too defensive?
No, it's shambolic in my opinion. 4 right backs is awful, man. I reckon James should have got dropped. James Ward-Prowse should have came in. I reckon Mings should have been dropped to Godfrey. I reckon Ollie Watkins should have somehow got into the team, if not Greenwood, or Greenwood's injured. Shambolic, my man. I just shambolic from my man Southgate there, honestly. And I say my man, just from Southgate there, just awful.
Yeah, I know you have to you have to actually take account of other managers because you don't have one right now, unfortunately. So Duncan Ferguson again. The last time he came in, he didn't do that bad, but obviously I think he's one of the reasons why they didn't work out with Moise Kean. I think subbing him that day, I think it just spoiled everything. But yeah, thank you for coming on. I'll leave his link in the description. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. The channel is still new, so I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.